What's up, SAFL? What's up, Adam?
What's going on, Burr?
It's been a hectic week. We took last week off. How you doing, my friend? How's everything?
I'm doing well. I was also not around last week, but I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing excellent, my friend. Getting ready for week 6. This is the SAFL LiveCast breakdown of week 5 and analysis of week 6 matchups. Adam, we missed you last week, man. Hope everything is good. Hope your team is doing good. I guess we're just going to get kind of right into it like we always just do. Talk about, week 1, Division 1 matchups from last week, Division 2. Talk about next week. Hopefully we got a couple of guys jumping on with us. Fabio, hopefully will jump in as well. Kind of get right into it, man. Cobra Kai versus QD was 28-21. Cobra Kai, man, they are now 4-1. QD's 2-3. I don't think you were there, but I mean, you know the two teams. So why don't you give a little breakdown and tell us what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cobra Kai, right? Like, I think we've discussed this already, is taking a big step up in just their explosiveness on the field. I think I saw a highlight of Cal doing a dip running, which is pretty ironic because he's pretty tall as it is. So his hips are still probably at like my head height. But the point is, they look like a well-oiled machine. And I think PT is their only loss, but they didn't have Jarrell that week. So maybe we didn't see them at their full strength, but they look great. And I know QD is a really good team. Can you remind me of the score again?
It's 28-21.
Yeah, that sounds about right. One possession game, really close. I'm sure QD gave them a really good fight. Congrats to the QD defense and holding them to 28. That's a really good score to keep them to. I expect the next time these teams see each other, it'll be the same kind of deal.
Yeah, I wanted to talk. We talked about the Cal. His numbers kind of speak.
14 touchdowns in 5 games.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to point out, actually. His receptions versus receiving touchdowns. He's definitely a difference maker. 14 touchdowns leading the league. And not just Cal. We got Anthony Lewis. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's showing up on the reception list as well. And then, obviously the quarterback play, man, that has a lot to do with the success. You can see Yash's numbers right here: 28 passing touchdowns, 70.3% completion percentage, and 6 interceptions. So, he's doing quite well for himself, I think we would say. If we wanted to talk about completion percentage, he's the top dog right now. Joe Ponte, don't get us wrong, 60.1%, 20 touchdowns and only 4 touchdowns. So really, I think what it comes down to is, why isn't QD winning games? Or should I say, why aren't they closing out games?
That's a good question. I mean, they beat us. I think they're a very good team. Most of the teams that they played are more experienced than them in the league. So this just may be a case of trying to get their legs under them. I expect as the season goes on that may not be the case. They're a good team. They seem like they have a lot of good chemistry. Ponte's a good, strong home quarterback. So I haven't been able to catch all their games in complete fashion. I just know they're good. But it's tough to close against Cobra Kai. It's tough to close against the Gators. Like, those are not easy outs. So
they still got 2 wins. Yeah, I mean, they still got 2 wins. I thought they, again, what I didn't notice actually after looking through some of the numbers is that they have a high volume of drops on their team, actually.
Gotcha.
So I think that may be one of the issues. I mean, we have the Joe-to-Joe connection, 20 catches. Tom has 10. Phoenix has 18. So it's like the ball is being spread around. But, in important spots, it seems like they're kind of dropping the ball in those important spots. So keep an eye out on that. Going back to Cobra Kai, they're just kind of running right now. They got excuse me. They have a big game coming up this week against the Gators. We'll talk about that. But I mean, other than that, it was 28-21. QD, they are right there. I'm going to attribute a lot of it to being new to the league. So, they are climbing their way back. So anyway, we'll move forward to the Gators primetime game. Adam, what happened here?
I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you. Gators seem to have,
39-27. Yeah.
yeah, the Gators seem to have prime time's number right now. I don't remember the last time I actually beat Ramy, in general, but on PT. So, look, I mean, they're not an easy out either. I think prime time just needs to figure it out a little more on both sides of the ball. We're not hitting those explosive plays like we used to is one thing I've noticed. I think prime time. I mean, if you look up and down our roster, it's speed, right? Like even like our slower guys are still pretty. Like I'm one of the slowest guys on the team. I like to fancy myself a fast person, so I think we just got to start clicking a little better, being more sound on defense, being more disciplined, and identifying the matchups that work for us. When we go man, we can't get toasted, and when we go zone, we can't let up, big chunks at a time. So, shout out to the Gators. I mean, they're really good.
They are. For a team with a roster like Prime Time, I'm a little surprised that they are 2-3. I mean, we're talking about, obviously you, Wakas, Waleed, just the core guys, and then Will and DJ and Ricky and a bunch of these guys. So a little shocking that the record kind of doesn't reflect that team in a way, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe more of a gelling issue or what, but I did hear some rumblings of some changes. Is any confirmation or anything like that on your guys' end?
I can't speak to that. I was, like I said, I wasn't there last week, so I'm not sure what we're really doing. The one thing I will say is that and this isn't anyone's fault. Our game breakers have usually been our game. We haven't had the consistent attendance that I think allows for a team to gel. Obviously, we have team chemistry because we've played together for so long, but DJ's been really busy with life. Ricky's in and out because he lives so far away. Nafi's in and out. Squirrel's in and out. So when we're plugging and playing guys like that, while they're certainly adding, dynamics to the team, it's tough to develop a chemistry, particularly on defense. So I think we'll figure it out, but we better figure it out soon because Division I is no joke.
Yeah, there's no room for error in
Not
Division I at the moment. Yeah. Even with Goss threw 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, not a bad little ratio right there. But yeah, like I said, it's a little surprising. Let's see what happens this week. You guys have let's just check out the quick matchup real quick. Floral Park this week. This is a good week for Primetime to really bounce back. And I had read in the predictions that one thing about Primetime that I think is very true is that they're very, if they can get that defense going, and get the energy up and just have a crazy day, that's going to translate into the offense, and then I think they'll be set for the rest of the season. So let's see what happens with them. And then for the last Division I game from last week was AK Floral Park. The final score was 46-27. Look, talk to me a little bit about Floral Park. You know these guys a little bit, and tell me about the struggles. If they're 0-5 right now, so tell me how you're feeling about them as a team.
I mean, I think their roster is actually pretty good. It seems like attendance is the issue. If your guys aren't showing up, like how do you expect to win? I mean, that's really the problem. And they can't really make changes now because rosters are locked. So I think they need to find like 7 or 8 dudes who are willing to be there week in and week out. It's all you really need. And go out and figure out what you need to do right. I mean, like the games don't get easier. There aren't any gimme games. So they're going to keep playing teams that know what they're doing. But I have no issues with their roster. I think they're good. I think Don's a great QB. Don Jr. is a great receiver. They have Ken. They have Steve. They have a few other guys who, gave me reason to think they can be good, but they need to be consistent in who shows up. If you're plugging and playing every week, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I actually found that interesting. I mean, now that we mentioned Ken a little bit, again, another astute point that was made in the predictions was, this time of year, Ken usually leads the league in receptions, what I've noticed. Yeah. And, this year is a little bit different. He has a lot of catches for his team, but overall, in terms of comparing to other guys, he's just not there this year. So maybe that's a little bit of a change of direction of how he usually is used in a game situation. And it's funny because he has a little bit less catches, but he has more touchdowns this year.
Right.
So, but my point kind of is that those tough yards that are needed throughout a game, trying to move the ball up and down the field, he's usually a guy that is very, that's very common for him, for example. So I'm interested to see how they use him moving forward. I mean, like Don to Don connection, he's having a really good year. Don Rickey Sr., Don Rickey Jr., 6 touchdowns. And, they just haven't found that win. And I think one of the reasons, again, just a similar thing with QD, is they're new to the league. And they just haven't, ran into a easy spot yet, if that makes sense.
And they won't. That's the problem.
And they won't. So, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I have a lot of faith in those guys that, if they can turn one into one victory, they can use that as momentum going forward. So
100%.
Let's see kind of what happens with those guys. I look at the roster and I don't see anything wrong with it, if that makes sense. So, and on the other hand, on the other side of the ball, you had AK, 46 points. Talk to me about them. These guys like just as well. So,
I mean, they're sick. I mean, what else can you say? They're playing really well this year. They look like the AK of old. They look healthy. They look fast. They're going to be there deep into the postseason. So I don't know how much. I don't know what else to say. They look really good. Hats off to them.
Yeah, they are definitely in postseason mode. I mean, again, what else can we really say? Sims is having a sick year. He threw for 6 touchdowns. I think we've said it so many times already. D-Raj, Amit, Miguel. By the way, Miguel, if you're listening, if you're watching, hopefully you're doing okay. I heard you got a little banged up this past weekend. So we are giving, hopefully you're okay. I'm sure Adam feels the same way.
Yep.
Get well soon. We'll see you out there soon, man. All right, Adam, we will move on to Division 2 games, man. This is going to be a good one. This is a good one. Browns versus Suicide Squad, 24-16.
Wow. Congrats to Suicide Squad. First of all, like, Jay is a great QB. He's brought teams to the finals back when we were a merged league. So he knows what he's doing out there. And I think Suicide Squad making the switch, no offense to who you had beforehand, made a lot of sense. When you have that much, league experience, it's tough to make anything better than that, So hats off to you guys for making the switch. Hats off to Omer for being a great receiver right off the bat for him. I think he was player of the game last week. So the fact that you guys can do that and hit the ground running, I mean, it says a lot about you guys. So hats off to you guys for being ready to make the switch. And you guys have won now, 2 in a row for it. So looks good.
Yeah, 2 in a row. This was a big game for us, man. I mean, we took down a undefeated team. And you're right, man. Like, Jason has really stepped into the position and just kind of taken over. Obviously, no offense to Omer. He just there is some work that needs to be done there, and we are developing him into an elite quarterback. And he has good company, with Jason, being under Jason's wing. So, for us making that switch and then getting everything else right, it took. We told our team, week 1, week 2, like, hey, it may take 5 weeks to get things right, guys, and, look, we're here now, and, we are going power rankings, rising in the standings, and we have a big game this week, and, hopefully, we can just kind of keep power. We're facing the Titans, so, let's see, we're excited to see what happens, and, the Browns played a heck of a game. It was 24, this was the score, 24-0 at halftime.
Wow.
And we didn't score 1 point afterwards. That's a little alarming to me, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
But shout out to the Browns. They did play a doubleheader and did win the second game of that, and we will talk about that. But, shout out to Suicide Squad, boys. Congratulations. You are on your way. I don't know where we're going to end up, but we got a couple of wins out of the way. Jason, let's just look at his numbers real quick, right? Jason. Oh, God. 33 for 17. Hey, Sohail, you're putting in the wrong stats for the wrong person, kid. if you're listening. Jason had 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. Jason, great job. Suicide Squad, what's up, boys? All right. I'll stop. Sorry, Adam.
No worries.
All right. Second game of D2 was Browns versus Balls Deep. Final score 32-14. Browns take the win. And I guess I'll just give a quick breakdown. I mean, Balls Deep was an interesting team, man. Like sometimes they just seem really hot, and then sometimes really not.
Yeah.
And this is one of those games where they were not. They're still putting things together. They have Anthony as the quarterback, Earl, Miguel as receivers, and then everyone else is kind of filling in, Ali and a bunch of these other guys. So, but they did face the Browns. So, tell me a little bit. What do you think about Balls Deep as a team? Like, you kind of know these guys a little bit. So, tell me what you think about them.
I think Anthony's the surprise of the year in both divisions, right? He's a good quarterback. I mean,
yeah.
He's good, right? Now he's not just like good for D2, like he's a good quarterback. He puts the ball in spots. He calls good plays. He can throw pretty much any point in the field. Is he like Sims? Probably not, but I think he's serviceable and he's done a really good job and he runs really well, obviously. So look, I think Balls Deep, as long as they can stay the course and listen to their veteran leadership, I think they could be the surprise of the division come playoff time, because I have full faith that they have the guys to do it. I mean, Miguel is a superstar. Earl is really good, and Anthony's great too. And they have a few other pieces in the Balls Deep roster that can help them go deep. So no pun intended. But yeah, the point is that I think they can be good. But, when you don't have the experience ready to go, you run into a team like the Browns, who are probably just ready to beat you. And that's what looks like it happened this week.
Yeah, they were definitely hungry, especially after that, the loss that they suffered from us. Sorry. But, I think they refocused and kind of came back and did what they were doing. And, Anthony had a decent day. He only threw 2 touchdowns, and they were both to Shiv. So, yeah, Anthony's definitely, I agree with you, man, definitely the surprise quarterback of the year. Kind of just came in nonchalantly like he normally does, complains like he normally does, and just started throwing the ball. And he is dropping dimes. What I'm noticing is that he does really, really well against a zone defense, because I think he's experienced enough in the game. Does he struggle against man? Sure, we all do, right? But I think against the zone, which most teams play, he does pretty well, and it kind of been showing over the last few weeks. So yeah, I think that they're on their way. They definitely need some time to still adjust. Those guys are basically new guys together, so it was an interesting game. Moving on to the last game of the day, it was the Titans versus the Sleepers. Now, I think this is like the game that everyone was kind of marked their calendar type of game, especially the Sleepers. They wanted that game since week 1 back. And they came in and they kind of just, they took it to them. So
yeah.
What do you think? Thoughts on Sleepers and where they fit in this league?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the Titans and the Sleepers split their series. I think their last game was really close. The Titans seem to be sliding a bit after their loss to the Browns, I think probably a week or 2 back now. The Sleepers are a really good team. I think Ryan's a good quarterback, and they have athletes up and down the team. And they look like they have a decent amount of chemistry. I mean, to hold the team to 12 points is a big deal. So kudos to them. It doesn't surprise me. I think the last game, if they see each other again, will be a nail biter. But look, the Sleepers are one of the top teams in this division. So it doesn't surprise me that they took this one in a game that they were probably hungry for.
Yeah, I agree. This is something that, Ryan and myself had talked about. They definitely marked this game on their calendar for sure, because they feel, and I think that after this game, it's true that they are one of the best teams in this division.
Yeah.
And I think that they can hang, in the top 2 spot, 1-2, 2-1, whatever you want to call it. They'll be, I think they're going to be there at the end. Actually, I think they're just one of those teams that has the talent, the quarterback play, the defense. I mean, the one thing is, if they can buckle more down on defense, I mean, this game, I don't want to, this is more of an outlier type of game for them, but usually, the scores are a little bit higher. So if they can buckle down on that defense on a consistent basis and come out with the fire and fury that they kind of came out with this weekend, yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't be a championship contender for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, guys, keep it up. And we are now, hold on. Yeah, it's funny. I'm getting some comments in the little comment. I don't know if I should read these.
Don't.
No, I don't think I should read these. But let's get into. I never get this right. Let's try. All right. That's enough, guys. All right, it's enough. All right, we're gonna get into the predictions, guys. Adam, the first game of the week is. Bring it up for us. It's gonna be Gators Cobra Kai. Give us your breakdown.
Oh boy. Yeah, this might be the game of the week. I think Cobra Kai barely won last time. This is a tough one.
It's getting tougher and tougher every week, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to stop Cal. How do you have 14 touchdowns this early to the season?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what? I think the Gators come off.
By the way, the first time they met this year, the final score was 46-40 Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it was a nail biter.
Yeah.
It came down to like the last few plays.
Yeah.
I think the Gators pull a really close one out, probably less than a touchdown. It's going to come down to a couple extra points. I think they don't want a team to sweep them, and I think they won't allow for that. And they looked really good against Primetime. I watched the tape. So clearly they have the guys to do it. It's just, can they stop Cal and can they stop Jarrell? So you got to really limit the Cobra Kai offense movement. And you got to execute on offense against that defense. I think they'll do it, but I think it'll be a close one. I'm going to go Gators 42, Cobra Kai 40.
Wow, so you're going to go with okay. I like that. I like that prediction right there. And which would be interesting because if they do end up splitting, then after that, then the head-to-head record's 1-1 against them. And then they're going to be in the position of using the second tiebreaker, which we haven't really used over the years much.
Yeah.
So that's why I think these matches are just so crazy. And to me, I'm definitely going to be there. I don't know about you, but this is something I'm definitely going to be interested in watching, which is this week at 9 a.m. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little prediction of my own. Like you kind of said, man, it's tough to stop Cal, tough to stop Jarrell if he shows up and plays this week, because he was definitely a force in the first game, and the Gators definitely had to play extra tough on him, I think, and they still didn't get it done, but it was still one possession game, so you know what, I'm gonna battle you on this one and go with Cobra Kai and go with a similar score to last time, one possession game. 35-28, I think, or 20. Yeah, 35-28. I think it's going to be right there. And the defenses on both sides are going to step up this week. So that's my prediction. That's our prediction. Okay, we will now go to the second game. Primetime Floral Park. I know you're not going to go against your own team, so I will break it down a little bit. So this is an interesting matchup because, with all the struggles that Primetime kind of has been having, along with Floral Park, Primetime still has been in the game for the most part. And, they're the veteran experience. And I think that, if this is what I said before, same thing, I'm not changing my statement. If the Primetime defense can get out there and hoot and holler and get like crazy this week and just really just have a ball out there, then I think that they have this game. And I think that if they can do that, then they're going to roll right into the playoffs like very strong, because the defense is where it starts on this team. They have way too much talent for them to be like 2-3 right now. Floral Park, again, they're just running into buzzsaws week in and week out. I think, after a week of like Primetime had last week, they're coming out for blood. They're coming out for blood. And Floral Park is just going to be in the way. They're an 0-5 team, so it's tough to, not root for them, but tough to like say that they could win this game right now. We have to see a little bit more bright spots before I could say that they could beat a team at Primetime this week. So I'm gonna go Primetime over Floral Park. I think it's gonna be a big one. 46, 28. I think there's going to have too many takeaways on defense this week. I'm expecting it. If this defense better step up their game this week.
I hope so. I hope you hear that, guys.
Like I get mad. I'm mad for them.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been not characteristic.
All right, we'll move on to the third game in Division 1. QD AK. Adam, go ahead. Tell me what you think about this
one. So the last time they played, I don't think Simba was there. So it was a close game.
That's correct, actually.
And I expect Sims to be there this time. At that same token, it seems like QD is getting better every week. So,
by the way, the last time they met, I'm sorry to interrupt you, 26-25 AK.
Yeah. I'm going to say AK wins in a very similar type of game, a really close one. Something along the lines of like 35-32. But I anticipate this to be a really, really close one, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong. It looks like QD is getting better every week. They're starting to figure out what works in this league and what doesn't. But I think AK's talent just kind of comes to shine this week. They're still loaded with some of the top players in our league. So, yeah, I'm going to go with them in a close one.
AK, Adam has AK. Hard to bet against AK right now. They are 4-1. But I do kind of agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if QD did pull up an upset, especially after last time. They, 26-25. We had talked about this already. The closing out the games, right? Like that's kind of where they are right now. It's not about the talent. It's not about scoring points. It's not really about that. It's just about closing out the game in situations where they can win games. The drop balls have to stop, and Joe just needs to just kind of rely on his receivers. For 90% of the game, they're doing great. That other 5%, they're having drops, and then other 5%, they're just kind of not there. So it's like, I think that if they can close that gap of the 5% and get 95% like perfect, then they're good. Again, AK, unless something magical happens and they're just not the same team that we're used to, I don't think that they're going to stop this train that they're on. So I'm gonna also go with AK. I think it's gonna be 30. It's gonna be close. I think similar to last time, but I don't think that close. I think like 35 AK and then 28 QD. I think that's where I'm standing with that. So, all right, those are the Division 1 games, Adam. We will move over to the Division 2 games right now. I know you have to go, not too much, so we won't keep you too long, Adam. I know you have things to do, your nighttime gigs. I don't know, you have those dollars all the time. I don't know what you're doing with those. So we will go to the first game of the week for Division 2. Excuse me. God, I guess I'm sorry. All right. This is you, man. There's thunder, balls deep. I'm going to say, okay. I'll give you a little breakdown. Question for you, actually. Are we going to finally see that guy this week?
The Thunder roster will be the closest to full that it's been the entire season.
Okay, so we're gonna see that guy this week who's playing quarterback for you, right?
So, Omer, you weren't the only person who needed to be moved.
No. Listen, like, I'll say this, like, whatever, you do what you got to do. I think the better thing is that you're a better captain. That you saw what you needed and you figured that out and you made those changes before the roster deadline. So that's good leadership right there. So because of that, I would have said last week, balls deep, easy, right? But now,
I don't know about easy, but okay, sure.
Okay. You know what? That's actually, you're right. I don't want to say easy. I say that they would have had a tough time. Thunder would have a tough time closing out the game. You're right. I agree with you. But now that you have someone like a veteran coming in to throw the ball, I think that the team itself is going to turn it around, and we're going to start seeing a different Thunder than we've ever seen, ever in this league.
Yeah.
And I think starting this week, like you said, full squad in, Thunder's going to have a big day, in my opinion. And I think that it's going to be a big statement game. I mean, you guys had a statement game against Suicide Squad a few weeks back, but then kind of, it was kind of like a parabola type of, thing for you guys, like, up a little bit and they came back down. But now, with all the changes that have been made, you now kind of taking the wide receiver position, Q on that side too, and hopefully Jesse and these other guys can start contributing. I think Thunder's got this one, man, and I think it's gonna be a big game for them. I think it's gonna be like 45 to 21.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think that you guys are ready. I just think it is. I think it's time. I think that you're gonna take it out.
We're not sleeping on balls deep. I'll tell you that much. I didn't heap that compliment on Anthony for nothing. But I'll say this. I said the same thing to the Thunder that you told Suicide Squad. Like, I told them, like, look, it's going to take a couple of weeks for us to, like, gel and figure it out. But once we do, I think we can be a good team. So hopefully that shows up this week.
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in that team right now, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens this weekend with them. So that's my prediction for them. Again, like, a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have said that. But, after I found out, what's going on, I think it's going to be cool. Another big game this week. Man, this is going to be a good one. This should be the game of the week, I think. And, what do you think about this one?
Brown Sleepers, yeah. This is a good one. This is going to be a fun one. Sleepers are hot. Browns are hot. They're both really, really good. I think depending on
Adam, I hate cutting you off. I hate to do it so much, but I have to bring somebody in.
Okay.
Is that okay with you? I got to get your permission first.
Yeah. There he is.
Because he's part of this game, I have to bring him in. And I'll tell you something. I know he has something to say about this one.
I was just going to mention him.
The reason I say this, is because he, last week, you weren't there, Adam, but him and the Sleepers were having a little drawing last week.
I like that.
And I stood back. I was standing there. I was talking about. I was like, "Oh, okay, all right," And because you know how the Sleepers are, right? Like they're coming after anybody, and they don't care who you are, Rob. They don't care. You've been in the league for 100 years, and you're.
I know they don't care. I know they don't care. But guess what? The reason why they don't care is because they're new to the league and they don't know.
Ooh, I like that.
They don't know. They got a little glimpse of it. If you can see in my background over there, I don't know what that is in the corner there.
Oh, I see. I see what.
Hold on. Let me. If we look around here, there's a lot of those things around here. I messed this one up accidentally, but there's a lot of these things around this room. But wait, look, you see two more over there in the corner? Yeah. So listen. So I've been talking trash to the Sleepers a little bit because they haven't played us yet. They played everybody else. It's gonna be a fun one because they've been chatting. I don't know if I said something about them on the last time I was on here.
You did actually. You didn't pick them to win. And he was upset.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, he's upset with you, Rob.
All right, good. So that means they're gonna bring their A game this Saturday, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it sounds like.
So I will be there.
Love to hear it. Love to hear
it. So
are you gonna actually be on time, or are you gonna be there like?
I'm gonna be. Oh, I might be early.
Oh,
I might show up a little early just
for
this one. You know,
I've
been busy the last couple of weeks, as y'all know. I had a baby, so
congratulations on your baby.
Thank you. So this time here though, just this sleepers game. I this was a check off on my list to play them after I found out it's a team full of guys that are Guyanese, and me being Guyanese, that makes it a little bit more fun. Yeah. So, what was y'all saying, Adam? Who you got in this one?
So Adam was going to give his breakdown. So yeah,
I was about to give it. I was about to say, depending on who shows up for the Browns.
We got the full roster. Cap is back. I'm back. Okay. We have the whole team is here.
Sounds like a plan for
the
success.
The whole team is here. Yeah. DJ.
Good.
Pat.
Good.
Al is going to score this week. Y'all heard me?
You heard it first.
Al, you heard it first here.
So give us what do you think, Adam? What do you think the final will be on this one? I mean, listen, this is not an easy game to predict. I'll give you that. So
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, with the full roster, I think the Browns do have the advantage. I was before he got here, I'm not just saying this to say it. I said it was gonna be a big game for Rob. But I think, if they can buckle down, the sleepers are sneaky fast, but I think the Browns, they got a chip on their shoulder right now. I'm going to go a high scoring one, but I'm going to say it's going to be 41-35 Browns.
41-35. All right. I watched the sleepers last week. I like which is unfortunate for them that I got to watch them in a full game last week. They have a team. One thing I always say, this league is about catching the ball, right? So they all catch the ball.
They do.
They all catch it. So that's basically what it is. It's gonna from the points they give up. I don't know about that defense. They give up a lot of points. So it's gonna come down to who do you think is gonna make more stops, right? Yeah. So of course I got to go with us. Going to make more stops because even if it's a high scoring one, we're gonna get some stops. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to bet against your own team. I mean, that would just be ridiculous.
No, no, absolutely not. But not saying that our defense has been great to any measure, because our defense hasn't been great. But we do. Last week against you guys, we locked down in the second half of that game, bro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So
we didn't score one. We didn't score 1 point. We had mentioned that. We mentioned that earlier.
And you guys
thanks for
run
rubbing
a lot
that
of.
In, Rob.
No, well, hey, you won the game, so I can't talk much. You know what I mean? What am I saying? But we did the one high point we could say about the game is that our defense stopped you guys in the second half of that game. So if we could come back in and just do that again. Replicate that defense, whatever was going on there in this game against them, man, it might get ugly.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I don't know if you were there last week. I've been able to get downfield again, so I don't know which one of those guys is gonna. Somebody got to guard me.
Yeah, that's good. That's a tough ask. It's not an easy one.
Somebody has to guard me. So
yeah, you still can move.
Yeah, and like I said, our leading scorer, Cap, is back this week. So
so one of Sohail's real favorite targets this year.
Sure. He likes it more than me, which is I love it. Yeah, I love it. You know what I mean? So
and he's one of those unassuming guys too. He looks like just an average Joe, but he's out there catching everything that gets in
bombs all day. Every time you look, he's catching 130 yards downfield, walking in the end zone. Yep. You know what I mean? And like I said, we got DJ back. E is going to be ready to go. We're looking all right. So it'll be fun though. It's going to be fun. Those guys seem like cool guys when I was over and they went over to their side, man. They really are.
Yeah, they're
really enjoying it, man.
They're enjoying their time this year for sure. I think out of every team, they have the most fun, to be honest. Like, they have more fun than a lot of people. I mean, they want to win. They're competitive as heck, So
yeah.
But that's what kind of makes it fun. I think it's gonna kind of make it for a great game and a great story this week, especially with the little trash talking that's been going on between you and them over the last few weeks.
I'm gonna have to get them they're gonna understand this joke, right? I'm gonna have to give them a Burbee's beat down. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That's where my family's from in Guyana, so they should know where that's at. So
got it. I'm sure they're listening. I'm sure they're now.
From the last time, I know they're listening. I know a lot of people are listening. I was surprised. You remember Burhan? He was like, "What are you doing here? I thought you said you weren't going to be here this week."
Yeah.
And I'm like, when did I say? I was like, I might have said it on the show. So, yeah, man.
Rob, we're gonna move forward. Good luck this weekend for that. Stay with us. We're gonna do our last game since you're here.
No problem.
I'll let you guys break it down because it's my game, so I'll let you guys break it down. What do you guys think?
Long Island Titans.
Yeah, it's Titans versus Suicide Squad. Man, I think the Titans got to be upset at this point. They're sliding, right? They've lost 2 in a row, and Suicide Squad has won 2 in a row. Interesting.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
I think the switch to Jay really changed the complexion of your offense, big time. The Titans defense is going to have to find a way to stop it. I think it's going to be a shootout though, but I'm going to give the Suicide Squad a bit of an edge here. I'm going to go 35-27 Suicide Squad, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong. And the Isaiah twins are going to have a big day for that to happen, but I think Suicide Squad ekes one out.
Adam's only saying that because I have the mute button on my No. All right. So, Rob, what do you think?
Listen. So, Bird, we talked last week, and I said to you, so Long Island Titans, they're now meeting the part of the season where they're playing the better half of the teams, right? So you expected some type of slide when you look at games who they went against. They didn't lose any games you didn't think they were going to lose. You know what I mean? So, and to be honest, Suicide Squad is a squad. You know what I mean? Like there's no. We spoke about this last week. Adam, I didn't see you last week, I don't think. But Suicide Squad is the plays you guys are running right now. Like I said, y'all gave us trouble both times. We gave us trouble 2 times in a row, right? We played that twice. Yes, right.
Mm-hmm.
The first time it was the same. It was the same play with what's his name? Omar was quarter. What's the other QB was? Omar. Yeah, Omar was quarterback the first. Omar, yeah, he was the quarterback the first time, and he was throwing the same bombs downfield that were getting completed on us. So whatever offense y'all are running, whatever route combinations y'all are running, they work. So at the end of the day, I feel like you guys can go a little man, and you're gonna slow them down and get more stops. So Adam, you got the score a little higher than I think. I'm gonna go a 14-28, something like that, Suicide Squad, because I think Suicide Squad can get the stops. This division gonna come down to who can get the stops, because that's what it's gonna come down to in the end. Who can stop the other team?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything you're saying. That especially that Suicide Squad is gonna win. No, but to Adam's point from before, Suicide Squad has won 2. Long Island Titans have lost 2 in a row, and then to Rob's point of kind of running into different competition now than they were before. And I'll say this, right? One thing, and I think this is why it's a good reason why the Browns had lost the game, right? Like, you don't want that type of pressure on you, right? Like, you don't want that undefeated record or any of that type of pressure. So, and the other thing that does when you lose games, it exposes what's wrong with your team, and because of that, because it exposes it, and now that we're past the roster deadline, it's going to even be tougher. But when you expose early on what you need to be done in your season, like whether that's a quarterback or a wide receiver, or whatever, you make those adjustments, you make those changes.
You can fix it.
So when you're winning games, it's hard to see it. So now that they've won and now they've lost a few and now the roster deadline's passed, does that make a difference? I think so. I think it actually makes a difference.
And to add to that point, I mean, now you're at the part of the season where the teams who are going to succeed are the ones who make the best adjustments. So they need to
Right.
adjust now, because now you know what works, what doesn't work for you guys on defense and offense. It's time to react now. You know, you can get off with some sloppiness in the beginning of the season, but now teams like us, the Browns, Suicide Squad, who have been here, done it, we're going to start adjusting, and it's time to really buckle down and know who you are.
Yeah, and like I had said even before about Thunder, you know, right? Like about the effective leadership and the changes that were made before the roster deadline, and now the team kind of is going to look different now, I think, you know. So
so is this official that the Thunder is coming with a quarterback?
Yeah, it'll be the first time. It'll be the first time we have a legitimate quarterback for the Thunder since we started.
Okay, so and that quarterback is Anwar.
It's a surprise.
That's gonna, you know what? That's gonna be good to see, man. The Thunder has always missed one QB.
You've seen us. QB, Yep, you've seen the way it was, man. It's always been that one missing piece. So
it puts a QB for you, especially bringing in another QB, not anybody that's currently on the team. It puts everybody else in places because they need you playing a receiver. They need you as a receiver.
Veteran QB.
Yeah.
So
veteran QBs, you know, where it's going to be the most help for them, because with Anwar coming in, you know, that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal that you have a quarterback like Anwar coming in and taking over. You have UQ. Name off some Jesse. Name off some even Ufna, right? Like Curtis. You know, these guys. Yeah. All they really need is one guy just to add. Please, no offense or anything, but like a guy that really can develop plays in the huddle on the fly and just like run it with it. You know, he's been doing that for years, and I think, again, like I said, I think the Thunder, they're going to be probably like 1, 2, 3 after this week. Like, you know,
I mean, look what Jay did for your team, right?
It's so true, man. So true.
Be much improved. Improved. Like I said, getting Adam, you go back now to a receiver, which your team needed another. They needed you there in that position. You being quarterback took away a target to throw to. You know what I mean? So now it's gonna be that easy.
A big target.
Everybody beyond you, the effect trickles down. It trickles down. So now you get a defender that wasn't on you before. So now the next guy after you gets one defender down, and they'll be more successful. And the next guy should be more successful. So
I'm excited for the squad. I'm particularly excited for Jesse, who's been a great receiver with really shoddy QB play. So this will be the first time that he has it going. But I mean, the point I was making was look what it did for Suicide Squad. You guys made that switch, and immediately, like, you guys started winning games. You know, so veteran QB-ship is really a big deal. That's why Browns are where they are, top of the league, top of the division. So it's been there, done that. So sometimes it's the key.
Smart QB,
yeah. Well, gentlemen, it's been 48 minutes and 40 seconds since we started this show tonight. I want to say thank you. First off, Rob, you know, you're our guest tonight. Anything you want to say? No, not yet, bro. I got a few hours. I got to do prediction.
Oh no, this is for the team I'm playing this week.
Oh, you like to talk. You like to talk when people ain't around, man. You get yourself into trouble.
Hey man, it makes the game it's gonna make the game so much more fun. Like, that's what it's about, you know? Gives us something to look forward to this weekend.
Any parting words for us, Rob?
I'm gonna take some melatonin on Saturday around 1. See how the sleepers do, all right?
Okay.
Let me leave the sleepers alone. I like those guys, man.
Those guys are chill, man. I like those guys too. But
I like those guys.
But here's the thing, though. Nice guys on the field, savages.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but like I said, I got to see them. I know. I see what they. Everybody catches, so you know we really got to guard everybody. So
yeah, I will say, as a if I was you, or if I was the Browns, I would really put my best guy on Marvin.
Which one's Marvin?
Marvin is the that guy.
I've been watching.
That's the guy. That's the guy that I would I would definitely watch because
you got to break that. So I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Adam, parting words for us tonight, sir.
Hey, this is the time of year where you start figuring out who you are. You either make it or you break it. So to all the teams, get ready. We're in the thick of it.
Gentlemen, appreciate your time tonight. It's going to be we are halfway through the season, gentlemen. 5 more games left for the rest of the way. And we will be back here next week. We'll be here this Saturday at Eisenhower Park starting at 9 a.m. with the first game with Cobra Kai and the Gators kicking it off for us this week. Guys, anything else left, or are we going to call it a night?
No, actually remind them we're off next week.
October 22nd. Adam is correct. We will be off. Everybody in the league will be off to get, I guess, a bye week. But the real truth is we get permits. We just couldn't get the permits, guys. Sorry, there's an event going on. I'm sorry. That's the truth. As a transparency. Other than that, yes. Last thing. Anyone who's listening, this weekend we are shooting a commercial for Texas Chicken and Burgers. One of our sponsors, as you can see, Tex. They want to do a commercial. They've been watching our content. They've been watching all the stuff that we've been doing, and they want to make a commercial for their company, and they want us to be part of it. So they will be out there this Saturday with the film crew, recording us. So that's going to be really amazing. My guys, if you want to be in the commercial, you have to wear your league issued jersey, your league issued SAS 22 jersey. Okay. And from there, we'll take care of everything from there. If you want to be famous, this is the week to be famous. And that's about it, guys. That's about it. I appreciate everyone's time. Rob, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And we will see everyone this weekend.
Good luck to everybody.